Is it expensive to live in Hawaii? Short answer, yes. Long answer, it's all relative. Oh my God, I almost did the 6-7 thing. For those of you joining in, my name's Hunter. I decided to pack things up and take the family traveling and test out other places to live. I'll have another video shortly explaining why we did this and why we did this now in our lives. But again, the short answer for that is why not? Also, I don't want it to be too late and we're living in the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. I say that all the time. I know, I'm sorry. It's just a fun phrase. But the idea is, why not see what it's like to live in Italy? Why not see what it's like to live in Hawaii or Alaska or Costa Rica? Options. A handful of people have asked, how can you afford to live there? Well, it's all relative, right? We live in California. It's expensive. Everyone reminds us. One of our friends before we traveled had said, I don't really think you're going to notice too much of a difference between California and Hawaii. I've heard a bunch of stuff. I get it. We're on an island. It's hard to ship things from one spot to the next. So I'm going to show you a couple websites that are actually really cool that you can compare and contrast what it's like to live somewhere. I came across this website called bestplaces.net. And the really cool part is you can punch in where you currently live, where you want to move, and what's your normal salary. So for fun, let's compare two popular cities. Let's say Austin, Texas, and Nashville. I'm just gonna leave the annual salary at 75 because it's staying that way. I don't know what the average salary is in the country, but anyways, here it says, cost of living in Nashville is 20% cheaper than Austin, Texas. You would need a salary of, I don't know, almost $20,000 less to live the same lifestyle. I actually paid the $10 for the month to show you guys some of the fun other information that it provides. You don't need to if you don't want to, but I'd feel like a jerk if I was like, check this out, then you don't get to see half the information. It talks about the median home cost, which is 28% lower in Nashville than it is in Austin. You can really dive in and do some research before you even get on a plane, before you even do anything, if you're looking to move somewhere. I highly suggest it. Anyways, let's get back to the brunt of the question. Is it affordable to live in Hawaii? We're obviously not staying in Honolulu because we're not trying to live like a tourist. We're trying to see what it is to live like a local. But there's another place called Pearl City, which is next to Honolulu. It's still close to get to the beach, and it just seems a little bit more like where you would reside if you lived here. So that's called Pearl City, very close to Pearl Harbor. I punched in Pearl City, and then I punched in another town that's close to where we live in California, which is Torrance. Torrance is south of LA, right next to Redondo Beach. It's about a 15-minute drive to the water if you want to go play. It's about 20 minutes to the airport. It's, but it's got a nice little pocket. Definitely working class people. And look, would you have it, the cost of living in Pearl City, Hawaii is slightly cheaper than Torrance, California. I guess California is that expensive. It talks about the median home cost being cheaper in Hawaii than it is Torrance. To rent, it doesn't look like it'd be a good spot for you. We can then go into what the cost would be for childcare because I have a kid, how much it would be. It's cheaper here in Hawaii than it is in California. Food, shocker. Food is more expensive out here. I've learned that. Also, if you're smart with it, you go to Sam's Club, Costco, you buy bulk. With fresh produce, good luck getting it to last longer than like 3 days. It goes bad fast. Food and groceries, and it talks about different varieties and what you're going to pay. Oh, I guess rice isn't cheaper here? That's bullshit. This obviously has come from like 12 different studies that they combine and surveys, and it pieces it all together. I can show you that later if you want. Or just, again, do your own research. They're just giving you an idea. Utilities are 93% higher in Hawaii than it is California. God, zooks. The place where we're staying, our host said that his power bill was $800 a month. The good part is they gave a bunch of incentives for these homeowners, so almost everyone has solar on their house. Goodbye power bill. Now you just pay for your solar for 20 years and hopefully it'll last longer than that. Taxes. Everyone loves to bring up taxes. right? Ugh, the taxes in California. And shocker, you're not wrong. They are 33% less in Hawaii, a third less than they are in California. So this is where I think, it's cool for you to start realizing what matters to you. For example, there's like 7 states in the US that don't charge income tax. And that's a big deal for people. That can save you a lot of money. Or places like California, I think is like 10 to 13%. It hurts. That's on top of federal. So I sympathize with y'all. But this is where it really like breaks it down to what's going to affect you and what really matters. But you can look at religion. You can look at politics and see if you're going to a place that aligns with your political views or aligns with your religion. All very great things to do research on before you just dive into another city because everyone else is going there. So anyways, this is California to Hawaii. I was in the East Coast and I was doing research on another city when we were there filming for this documentary, and I was in Richmond, Virginia, and I have nothing bad to say about Richmond. I love it. It was beautiful. It was affordable. You got all 4 seasons. The flow just seemed very much my vibe. I just said vibe. I'm there now. I'm there. This is what would be a sticker shock for people. It is 80% more expensive to live in Hawaii than it is to live in Richmond, Virginia. For those of you that live in an area that the cost of living is not that much, that the housing price on average is like $300,000, this is going to hurt. Housing costs are 173% more expensive than it is in Richmond. Look at that. Average home price, $327,000 compared to $894,000. Is it more expensive? Absolutely. But it also depends on what you're used to. If you're used to having to make 50 grand to get by and cover your living expenses and live in that town, that's awesome. Then do that. Vice versa. If you're used to having to make 120 grand to cover your living expenses in a certain place like Manhattan or San Francisco or Los Angeles, all these expensive places, it's not going to change that much. That's basically this video. All I wanted to do is show you guys what it's like to live in one place versus another and how expensive it really is. If you're also looking at living internationally, there's a really cool website called livingcosts.org. I'll also put a link down below. And for us, also looking to see what it's like. Actually, let's just do this. Torrance, California, Lisbon, Portugal. Our monthly salary after tax, $5,000. I like this one too because this also kind of breaks down a little bit more, just like a summary of what's going on, but it gives you an idea. Living in California is a lot more than living in Portugal. Shocker. I've heard amazing stories about Portugal. Can't wait to see it. See you there. The one thing I can't wait to research is if you can see this thing right here, the monthly salary after tax. Why is it $1,500 if you're making $5,000 a month? If you're from Portugal, please chime in because this is something that I'm very curious about. Livingcosts.org, bestplaces.net. There's another one called like Numbeo, Numbeo. I'll put those in the comments. Feel free, check it out. Let me know too if I'm crazy. Like if you live in Pearl City, Hawaii, and you're like, that is not what it costs. Or you live in Richmond and you're like, this is absolutely wrong. Please let me know. Because I don't think these are entirely accurate. They're accurate to a very certain point. But I think everything, again, is all relative. It gives you a benchmark to kind of see what's going on, but it's not the real story. Like, I want to hear from boots on the ground. Sound good? Good? Anyways, I hope that helped clear some things up for you to figure out exactly where you might consider going. And just for fun, right? Instead of just scrolling through on Instagram, which, guilty, maybe hop on this and look at it on your phone and go, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. We can definitely afford to go live in Spain. We definitely can't afford to live in San Francisco, whatever it may be, but I'll leave that up to you. Happy hunting. If you want to see more stuff, by all means, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I'm going to try to showcase stuff every week, if not multiple times a week. Bold statement, I know. But stay tuned. I can't wait to show you all the other fun stuff we got ahead. All right, have a good one.